This is actually insane. These are climate change protesters, and they are protesting Tesla? How stupid is this? The hypocrisy here is just beyond obvious. They also have a poster, and I translated this with Google Translate, so they really are climate change protesters. We obviously all know that Tesla does so much for the environment, and we are transitioning from gas-powered vehicles to electric vehicles. Why do they have a problem with a Cybertruck and have no issues with big trucks made by Ford and all of these other manufacturers? They only have an issue with Tesla. It's because that gets them attention and eyeballs. Although, if someone is even a moderate liberal, this is going to outrage them. You have to be an extremist to look at this and say, that makes sense. I understand if you want to protest against Elon Musk specifically, you want higher wages, cool. Okay, you can do that. But to say that you're a climate activist and just pour that on the Cybertruck, that's just beyond dumb. And it makes it so obvious to everyone that this is not about climate change. You are not pro-environment. You are pro-power. Now let's assume that he was protesting the water usage at Giga Berlin. Okay, I would like to remind that guy that the amount of water that it takes to make a pair of jeans, you can make 2 Model Ys from the same amount of water that it takes to make just 1 pair of jeans, and both of these guys are wearing pairs of jeans. And Tesla recycles up to 100% of the factory processed wastewater. Oh, and Grok actually says that you can make about 5 Model Ys almost from the amount of water that it takes to make 1 pair of jeans. This is a genuine question to all of the people that lean left or liberal who are watching this. Do you support this? I assume you don't, but I would like to ask and see what you guys say in the comments. Tesla has obviously done more for advancing sustainable transportation and energy than any company. By the way, this is a new channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, you should. Unless you don't want to see any political videos, in which case you shouldn't subscribe. All the Tesla videos will be back on a Tesla-only channel soon. This is just to get some momentum. Recent Model Y rear-wheel drive buyers can now unlock 50 more miles of extra range for just $1,600, which is definitely a great deal. Tesla bulls are definitely quite happy about this development, and I am too, of course. This will also help Tesla's earnings a tiny little bit. Depending on which cells the car has, you can get 30 miles of range for $1,000 or 50 miles of range for $1,600. I am, however, seeing quite a few comments saying, oh, Tesla should just given this for free to all the customers, but they forget one thing. It's not like Tesla on purpose limited the range and then later said, oh, you know how you can make money? We can charge people later. Tesla told us earlier that they will be doing this, but the reason why they couldn't do it immediately is because they had to have a regulatory approval. So which one would you rather have? Tesla not putting these extra battery cells into the vehicles and only starting to do so after receiving the regulatory approval? Or putting them in and then saying, oh, you can upgrade your vehicle with a software update, then you will have more range. There was also a third option, which is to give everyone a free software update and don't charge for this upgrade. But you have to understand that when these people were buying the car, they did not know that they will have more range. I don't think Tesla would have been allowed to really advertise that the specific vehicle that someone is buying will later have more range because the EPA has not approved it yet. The upgrade is only available in the US though. However, each one of these range estimates comes with an asterisk attached stating estimates are based on internal modeling and will vary depending on factors like battery age and driving behaviors. So these are not EPA numbers. So I guess it's a little bit of a workaround around EPA. Okay, we cannot sell the vehicle with full stated range of its actual range, but we sell it first and then later we can let people upgrade and we can work around this EPA thing. This is just one example of how Tesla does things quickly. Now, we first heard about this whole update thing on May 3rd. And back then, Elon said the 260-mile range Model Ys built over the past several months will have this update. So if you got a Model Y in the last 5 or 4 months, you should be able to get this update if you have the 260-mile range Model Y. And when asked why not just give it for free, Elon said we have to pay the bill somehow. But it seems like just for the software update, Tesla needed to get a regulatory approval because Tesla could have already done this in May. A regulatory approval for a software update, I imagine, is a bit easier than getting a regulatory approval for the whole vehicle before it goes on sale, although I could be totally wrong on this one. So I see these images on X. That looks hot, says James. This is supposedly a Model Y refresh interior and exterior that has just been leaked. I will explain in a moment why I said supposedly, but whether this is a Model Y refresh that's real or fake, it definitely hurts Tesla sales in the short term. So there's actually a community post under this. This appears to be a stretched image of a Model 3, in addition to having the Model 3 wheel covers. The rear doors do not extend down to the wheel well in the same way that the Model Y doors do. And then there's a link to Tesla's website, but this is the old Model Y, so how would we know for sure that the new Model Y would have the same features? It is a refresh. It's not just a facelift where structurally they are not going to change anything. Also, in terms of any distortions, you have to understand the camera lenses. This must have been used with a wide angle camera lens. What does that mean? It means that everything that you see here is going to be distorted. Here's an example of a picture. If you weren't a complete pro, you may not really think there's anything unusual. Maybe you would think, oh, this is just an interesting building, but no, this is just complete lens distortion. It's actually a straight line, and it also distorts everything in the background as well, but it's more difficult to see it in the background. Different lenses can also make your face look, like a fish, and others will make you look pretty good, although there are other factors at play than just a lens. Also, depending on the lens, the things that are in the middle of the photo will look quite a bit better compared to the ones on the side or the edges. As you can see here, when it's properly corrected, the people on the side look fine, but when it's not corrected, it's why are their faces so wide? It's because of the lens. But this is relatively in the middle, so you could sort of assume it shouldn't be that distorted, but you can see the lines, and this thing does not look flat. It looks like it's, I don't know what is going on here. I'm going to exaggerate here a little bit, but it sort of looks like this. So obviously anything you see on the screen will also be distorted, or like the community note pointed out, stretched, which could simply be distorted. Now there's also the second picture, and here you can see that you can't really see as much, which means it's not really a wide angle lens, which means distortion would be less. There would still be some, depending on how good the lens is, but definitely a lot less. So we could come to a better conclusion based on this picture. Now to me, when I look at this, I don't know, something just feels off. I can't quite really pinpoint exactly what's off, but I don't know. I just feel like something is a bit off. So it's either a fake Model Y refresh or it's a distorted picture. After looking at it for a little bit longer, I also noticed a few other interesting details. See this mat? Does this look like a Tesla made mat to you? By that I mean a mat that would originally come in a Tesla. There's also another interesting detail. The temperature is set to 69 Fahrenheit. Whether it is a real refresh Model Y or not, we pretty much have an idea of how it's going to look anyway. And supposedly, according to Elon Musk, the Model Y refresh is not coming this year. Omar just responded to some criticism. Sometimes critics will say, you have been having zero intervention drives for years. Why is now any different? But people who are paying attention know it's not the same. Firstly, zero intervention drives were extremely rare before V12. Even a drive without any takeovers would have at least a few accelerator presses or speed changes that were needed to get to the destination. This was impressive at the time, but now the bar is higher. Much higher. Furthermore, you will know that the zero intervention drives I'm posting are much longer than the drives I've posted in the past. Zero intervention drives are now becoming the norm. Well over 50% of my drives don't require any intervention at all. Safety critical interventions are now exceedingly rare, whereas they used to be quite common. But this is another reason why it's important to drive yourself, because you could have been looking at Omar's videos from a little while ago, and there is obviously going to be some selection bias in terms of which videos get posted and which ones do not. But even if you watch his videos, yeah, the progress is quite clear. 2 years ago, it was so easy to find some horrifically terrible drives on his YouTube channel. Now, it is difficult to do that. Soon people will be able to demonstrate days, weeks, and months without intervention, then years. If you think even for a little bit, seriously, you will realize it's really inevitable, it's just a matter of time. But how soon is the big question. Yashu has the latest FSD build, and he has a typo here. He meant 12.3.3 is far too cautious in some scenarios, and yet way too aggressive in some. I'm not sure what to think. Driver comfortability range is too wide. Here's another person having mixed feelings about this latest FSD build. He spent a few days driving on this FSD build, and he actually prefers 12.3.6. Okay, well, let's find out why. On a 10-mile trip, I have to constantly hit accelerator just to get up to the speed limit. Almost every time the vehicle slows down for something, it never speeds back up to the speed limit, following distance to lead car. Despite this, I feel that turns are much smoother. Decision making is a little bit better. It still tries to switch lanes when it's not supposed to. There's also a small section of the road where the steering wheel jerks to the right sometimes. Not enough to get out of the lane, but it's like it's trying to dodge something that's not actually there. The new driver monitoring is great though, no issues with that. But Omar points out that new versions of FSD are always slow and more cautious at first. If you think it is worse just because it's more hesitant, wait about a week. It will regain confidence once it is validated. Most people don't have this update, by the way, me including. I just checked, I don't have it yet. There's a new Tesla bear thesis. When did FSD become AI? Is Acceler War becoming AI? Is my iPhone AI now sentient? What about my smart refrigerator? Here's someone else with the latest build, and the first impressions are actually overwhelmingly positive, nothing really negative here. There's an update about the Delaware case and the compensation package for the lawyers. The lawyers explained what they would do with the roughly $7 billion that they would get from this fee award to them. Your Honor, I'm not anywhere near as smart as Elon Musk. I'm glad he admits that, and I will never pretend to be. But you've got to assume that if you give us shares, we're not going to run to the market to dump them all at once. In fact, to address any shareholders' concerns, and if Your Honor has these concerns too, I'll make 2 undertakings to the court on the record. We will engage and instruct market professionals to time the sale of any shares we receive in such a way as not to impact the trading market. Second, to the extent we own any shares, when votes are held, we will vote the shares precisely as recommended by ISS or Glass Lewis and not in any other way. So you mean you will basically vote in a way that most Tesla stock holders are not going to vote, further going against most of the Tesla shareholders. To be clear, Your Honor, I just want to make this very clear on the record. We have no intention of dumping shares to drive the price down, but selling will cause that anyway. We have no intention of becoming long-term holders to become a thorn in Mr. Musk's or anyone else's side. Well, at least it sounds like they are not going to sell all the shares all at once in one single day. I would imagine it maybe would be over a span of 1 week or a few weeks, or maybe they would dump it all at once, but they would basically do a block sale. You get a little bit less money doing that though. What do I think about all of this? The same thing as Elon Musk. They are contemptible parasites on the neck of Tesla. There's a political story about Elon Musk, and this one I think is very relevant to us Tesla stock investors. I'll just go through the facts only. But liberal Tesla customers, they will not like this at all. I'm sure they will absolutely hate this, so that's why this is relevant to us. There's a report from Bloomberg that says that Elon Musk has donated to a super political action committee working to elect Trump to the White House, a major gambit by the world's richest person, they report. Musk has contributed to a low-profile group called America PAC, according to people familiar with the matter who requested anonymity. However, it's unclear how much Musk has given, but the people characterized the figure as a sizable amount. So how much would that be? To some people, a sizable amount is $1 million. To some people, based on Elon's wealth, that would be at least $1 billion. But at the same time, to those opposing Elon, a sizable amount could be a few $1,000s because it's more than an average donation from a regular person. So we have no idea how much, but this will certainly start to get a bit more political, and Elon will probably face more backlash from the liberal side of America. They probably won't like seeing this. We might have a slight idea of how much money he might have just given to this among outside organizations backing Trump. America PAC is the biggest spender on direct voter contacts. It has spent 15.8 million so far, with 13.1 million of that going for field operations. So my guess is it's not going to be a very big amount. I mean, I would imagine it would be substantially less than how much this America PAC already spent. We know though that Elon met Trump earlier this year. Right after Elon Musk met with the former president, after we found out about the meeting, Elon said this, just to be super clear, I am not donating money to either candidate for US president, but he said this in March. So it's been 4 months now. You can certainly change your opinion in 4 months, so I don't see this as a problem, but I do see this as somewhat unexpected. But he said, I am not donating money basically right now at this moment. He didn't say I will not donate money to either candidate. So I don't see any problem with his statement here from before. Anyway, if the report of Elon donating to the Trump campaign is true, which I assume it is at this point, I definitely expect a lot more attacks and lawfare against Elon Musk. We have already seen this. You can pause and read if you are new to this. The current president before said that Elon Musk is worthy of being looked at. Warren Redlick seems to not believe this story that Elon donated to that super PAC. Keep in mind though that Warren posted that like 12 hours ago, so there's a lot of time between then and now for Elon to have responded. But I read every single reply that Elon Musk posted on X in the last 16 hours or so, 18 hours, and I haven't seen Elon Musk deny that rumor at all, and that's a big, major rumor. So if it's not true, I am sure Elon would have denied it by now. And I'm sure he's seen the rumor. Look at how much he's been posting today, nonstop, pretty much, like almost once every hour for the last however many hours actually. So I would find it extremely unlikely that Elon Musk hasn't seen that rumor yet. What does it mean for us Tesla stock investors? Noise, a lot more noise, a lot of potential political attacks, a lot of people on the left outraged about Elon and therefore its result to some degree about Tesla as well. This could affect Tesla, this could affect the stock price. However, it seems to me now, when Elon gets into a political controversy, the stock doesn't really react to it at all anymore. Earlier, I think we could sort of see it in the stock as well, but now, no, not really. So I'm not really worried as a Tesla stock investor personally about any of this. Just prepare yourself for a lot of noise, backlashes, and dirty attacks against Elon Musk. So get ready for that. Don't be surprised about it when it does happen, which at this point it seems inevitable. There's a small chance that maybe Elon Musk on purpose is not denying that rumor, because we are getting to a point where every single major rumor that really damages Tesla or Elon Musk, if Elon sees it, he denies it. Maybe he's thinking that, oh, maybe it's better to not say anything. So then people would be guessing, did I actually donate or did I not? Maybe it saves some time, although how much time he's spending on X, I wouldn't think that's really crossing his mind. But maybe he just wants to keep people guessing so that he doesn't have to deny every single rumor when it comes out. And maybe in a few days' time, a few weeks, we will find out, no, actually he did not donate any money to the campaign. And he'll say something like, oh, well, I just wanted people to understand if I don't deny it, it doesn't mean the rumor is actually true. It's possible, but I don't see that as likely. Thank you for watching, and I will probably be back with the next video on Monday. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. Just keep in mind that this channel later will be more political and all the Tesla videos will be back on a Tesla only channel. By joining Patreon, you will have access to all of my exclusive videos on Patreon, as well as how much I am willing to pay for each Tesla share between 2024 and 2033. If you join the investor tier, you will also have access to my valuation model, where you will see all of my assumptions, including deliveries, the energy business, Tesla's future businesses like FSD, and of course much more. And then if you want to easily download that and put in your own numbers, then this third tier is for you. To all of my Patreon supporters, thank you so much. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't yet as well. It's really important to like the videos because that makes it less likely that the channel will be shadow banned later, like my other big channel got shadow banned before from about 50% of my regular viewers. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.